First plants of Triticale created in the end of 19th century have become the real revolution in genetics and selection. The crop that has been got by crossing rye and wheat combine the best economical and biological features of the parental forms. First varieties in Ukraine and Soviet Union were created in Institute of Plant Growing of Europe in a laboratory led by Professor Andriy Shilindin. In 1976, the variety of winter Triticale Amphidiploid 2006 was enrolled to the state registry.
He
managed to create a unique variety Amphidiploid 206, which was the first mixture of two cereal crops in Soviet Union. It was noted for a high cold resistance, provided harvest of grain from 1 hectare up to 8 tons. The quality of grain was high, it contained over 15% of protein, over 30% of gluten, and the size of the loaf of bread was over 500 milliliters.
The high potential of the harvest, increased adaptability to unfavorable conditions, and quality grain has provided a fast recognition of Triticale in the world. For today, this crop is already taking 4 million hectares of the world's sown area. Continuing the traditions of the scientific school created by the outstanding selectionist Andriy Shilindin, scientists of the Institute of Plant Growing of Europe work successfully on developing and implementation of new varieties of spring and winter Triticale to agrarian production. 11 of 16 varieties of Triticale enrolled to the state registry for today are the varieties of Kharkiv selection.
Ці культури мають дуже широкі адаптивні властивості.
These crops have very high adaptability. For example, their sprouts have less blight. It needs less pesticides for defense of agrocanosis created by these crops. They are: winter crop is more cold resistant and the spring Triticale is more drought resistant due to strong rotage.
Increased cold resistance allows a plant to bear the temperatures in the depths of bushing out till -20 degrees Celsius. Every new variety of the Triticale created in the Institute of Plant Growing of Europe goes through a trial for cold resistance level.
Для того, щоб мати стабільні урожаї,
To get stable harvest, we have to know the evaluation, the level of cold resistance of our new varieties. For these, they are sown in separate boxes, separate varieties. Reference varieties, standard varieties are growing here. They go through hardening in these weather conditions in open space. And then we freeze them through for 3 winter periods. In frost cameras, we set the temperature up to -17, -19 degrees Celsius. And then we count the varieties that are half safe. If the half of the plants of this variety is safe, it means it has held the level of the certain temperature can be assigned to it.
Creation of forage varieties is one of the main works of Institute of the Plant Growing Laboratory of the Winter Triticale Selection and Genetics.
Among them are Amphidiploid 256, Han, Rodden, Horoza. These varieties are registered in different periods. They are noted for high crop capacity from 7.5 up to 9 tons from hectare, high crop capacity of on-rape mass from 45 up to 65 tons.
У Triticale є дуже велика.
Triticale has a very useful feature taken from rye.
Я б сказав так.
It is, I would say, a strong bushing out. If wheat can give 3, 4, 5 ear stems, Triticale has an unlimited amount.
For today, the selectionists of the Institute have already created the varieties of the winter Triticale, which not only exceeded the winter wheat by the harvest and adaptability, but do not yield to it in bakery features.
Эти сорта отличаются.
These varieties are noted for a high-quality gluten comparing to forage varieties. Among them are such varieties as Raritat. It is the first variety of bakery purpose for the high-quality gluten. It was registered in 2008. Amos variety has a good bakery features and the high flour strength also. The size of loaf of bread is over 600 milliliters without any baking powders. It is the newest variety of crop of bakery purpose, registered in 2015. The next direction is creation of winter varieties of local snap Triticale with a high culm up to 100 centimeters. The variety Timofey represents this direction. It was delivered for a state nature trial since 2016. Very prospective direction in Triticale selection is the creation of alternate Triticale forms. Its varieties combine high cold resistance with the ability to harden and ripen in the spring sowing. In the autumn sowing, they provide from 7 to 9 tons of grain from 1 hectare, and in spring sowing from 4.5 to 6.5 tons, depending on a forecrop and prevailing conditions.
For today, another 4 new varieties of winter Triticale created by the selectionists of the Institute of Plant Growing go through a trial.
In this year, for the harvest of 2015, the variety Pivdani was delivered. It is a multi-purpose variety characterized by high adaptability, both cold and drought resistant, which is very important for modern varieties of Triticale, to increase drought and heat resistance of the existing varieties.
At the same time, as the selectionists think, winter Triticale hasn't got a proper recognition in Ukrainian agrarian production yet. Both biological and economical potentials of this prospective crop are not being used completely.
Зерно, яке збирається з поля, озимих тритикале, рахують до
A
пшениці.
crop ripped from a field, winter Triticale is ranked upon wheat.
Це культура, окрема культура, яка має дуже великі...
It's completely wrong because it is a crop and separate crop with a great adaptability taken from crossing wheat and reed.
Пшениці і жита. Це дуже велике має значення.
It is very important because the combination of two genomes allow to create a really new culture as a result of shifting some chromosomes.
Створити абсолютно дійсно нову культуру.
The scientists of the Institute of the Plant Growing of Europe have been working on the spring Triticale selections for 40 years.
Перший сорт був «Прогрес».
First variety was Progress. It was its first name, they renamed into Kharkiv 41. It went through a production trial. It was a period when Soviet Union was ruined. Spring variety Kharkiv Ace was the applied for trial. It was later registered. On the territory of the former Soviet Union and Ukraine, it has opened the history of the new crop. It was enrolled to registry and the producer started buying our grains, growing it and using it. And we worked over new methods, choose new initial material, and this way we continued improving this crop.
Bread made of Triticale has higher biological value comparing to wheat bread. First of all, by the contain of alkali and water-soluble protein. They are more useful for human organisms than alcohol-soluble, prevalent in a wheat bread.
Слідуючі елементи, які складають
The next elements containing nourishing value are vitamins, groups of provitamins. Triticale has more keratinase comparing to wheat. It smells better. When in laboratory we bake the bread made of Triticale, the laboratorians already feel whether it is bread of wheat or bread of Triticale.
Що стосується ярих тритикале, склад зерна входить
As for spring Triticale, the grain contains a lot of vitamins necessary for improving the quality of poultry egg. It is really important because a huge number of food products contain egg yolk.
For 4 centuries of scientific selectional work, the scientists of Institute of Plant Growing have already created 20 varieties of the spring Triticale.
На сьогоднішній день ми упроваджуємо виробництво.
For today, we implement to production such varieties as Kharkiv Klebopekar. Their names tell about the high quality and bakery value. Kharkiv Lenin, prevalent in producing a good stable variety.
Останні 2 роки активно розмножується.
For the last 2 years we have started reproducing this variety, the Hliba.
Також, як і хлібодар, має
Like Hibodar, it has high bakery indications as well.
разом з тим його урожайність
At the same time, its crop capacity is 1.5 times higher.
полягає в тому, що на сьогоднішній день
Its
воно
value is also that it
збирається
doesn't grow with a lot of
більшою
fungicides.
кількістю шкодочинних грибкових хвороб. Фактично, в
In
наших
our conditions there is
умовах
almost no
немає
mildew.
борошнистої роси. Не вражається сажковими.
It doesn't grow with a loose, smart or bond.
Це дозволяє виробничникам
It allows the producers excluding the poisoning of grain before sowing.
перед посівом.
The fact that Triticale doesn't need any pre-sowing fungicide protection allows common use in this crop in organic production.
Боревітер внесений в реєстр, сорт такий теж дуже цікавий.
Borevita enrolled to the registry is a very interesting variety. It has increased wind, rain and falling resistance. Also we work with the new generation of varieties applied for trial. It is Cocke's which allows improving bakery features of wheat grown on low agrarian backgrounds. 15% of it are enough to add to an ordinary wheat grain or flour to get a bread with a high bakery features. It promotes this crop to production because this crop is new and we have to compete with the crops that has been cultivated by humans for millions of years.
Today, the varieties of Kharkiv selection are going through trial outside of Ukraine, in Poland, Kazakhstan, Belarus, Turkey and Great Britain. This crop, as the selectionists are positive of, has a great potential and a prosperous future.
Різко міняються кліматичні умови, і ми повинні в своєму портфелі мати
The climate is changing abruptly and in our case we need to have a number of crops that are adjusted to different climate conditions.
Ми повинні зібрати
I think we have to create affinity group from Ukraine
і наших
and from abroad to carry on a throughout discussion of selection program and to make a right decision. Because Triticale, both winter and spring, can be really of a common use.
широке використання.